Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man, at your service, with my young protege, Mr. Kentucky Fudge. How are you all? Hope you're well. Today I'm sporting the Stuart Hunting tartan. Stuart Hunting, greens, reds, yellows, bit of blue in there, bit of black, a bit of shading, and you know, I love this combination of the green and the yellow, which will play very nicely into what I'm going to show you today. So, folks, how are you all? Hope you're doing very well. The time I'm recording, we're still lockdownville, massive lockdown, and in a rather dreary turn of events, the weather, which has been absolutely fantastic for all the weeks that we've been in isolation and self-distancing, social distancing, it's been blistering, gorgeous weather. I burnt my nose the other day, and it's now raining. Damn it all. Anyway, folks, right. Forgive the slight shimmer on this video. That's not for atmospheric effect, although I like the way it's doing that. That's pretty cool. I think the lens is a bit smeary, and of course, you know, you make that mistake, don't you, of trying to out-clean the lens, and you make things a million times worse. Best thing is just to let it evaporate. All the detritus that's on the lens, let it just fade away in its own time. But of course, time is of the essence, even though there's hours and hours and hours to kill today, and then tomorrow, and then the next day. It goes on, doesn't it? But I want to get through a fair bit of stuff today because I've got loads to show you, mainly because 5 packages, packages turned up yesterday. Now Mrs. Kilt-Man was doing a nut. You can't afford to buy all this stuff. I said, no, I haven't. One of these is a gift off somebody, blah, 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 blah. And one I told you about, well, what are the rest of them then? I'd hoped to try to intercept the postman or the Amazon courier by sitting outside with one of these in the sun. And I did. And I managed to sneak back. A couple of things turned up at once, then 3 more turned up together. And I tried to bring the extra 3 in quietly, with stealth. Remember, I'm a trained commando. And I opened the door, and straight away, Mrs. Kilt-Man was standing there, like that. Oh, what are these then? And I was like, whoa! I said, they're pre-orders, I forgot about them. Oh, bullshit. Yeah. But, so I'm sitting on a cushion because I was right royally spanked yesterday. Every cloud, as they say. Right, folks, anyway, let's get down to some nitty-gritty. What's playing behind you here is Les Baxter's awesome score for 1970s Lovecraftian horror, occult chiller, the Dunwich horror, based on one of Lovecraft's stories, and which deals with the elder gods, Yog, Sothoth, and Great Cthulhu. Yes, that guy. And but it's really a counterculture sort of celebration of the Rosemary's Baby had just come out, so all things occultish. The Exorcist was on the way. The the closing tail end of the hippie movement, you know, was turning into a complete anti-establishment, sort of more anger and angsty sort of propaganda tool. So films took on a bit of a darker edge, and the score you can hear here, which is brilliant. I love it. I love Les Baxter's stuff. Did a lot of Edgar Allan Poe adaptations for AIP as well. A lot of Vincent Price movies. It's got a sort of mock baroque pop, you know, sort of style, which, because it's trying to appeal to the younger sensibilities, the youth, you know, of California primarily, where it was filmed. And it's an okay film. Sandra Dee's in it, and Sandra Dee gets her chesticles out during a black mass ritual. The film is more occult than it is Lovecraft. It weaves in and out, but it tends to blend the Lovecraftian elements in as they're kind of like a wrapping around a more occult-based story. But on the topic of Lovecraft, and on the topic of Yog Sothoth, and especially Great Cthulhu, you know, the elder gods who reside at the bottom of the oceans, and they've been in hibernation for aeons. And Great Cthulhu is the big deity. He's the one. He's the master, you know. And Yog Sothoth, I think, he opens the door. Once easily manipulated fools of mankind read the Necronomicon or enact certain rituals, he will open the door and allow Cthulhu to come through in all his greatness and tentacleness. So, isn't that right? He has studied the Necronomicon, as you can no doubt tell. He fried his eyeballs. And as you can see, he's also trying to model himself on me now. He's actually copying my hairstyle. Looks better on him, actually. So, without further ado, there are plenty of Great Cthulhu masks out there. Cthulhu is in the 1938 short story, quite long short story, The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft, obviously. And then Cthulhu would feature in the greater Cthulhu mythos, where all these other elder gods and entities are brought in. Some from beneath the sea, some from beyond the cosmos. But if I remember rightly, isn't there like a hidden realm down beneath the depths called Rylya or Rylya? Ril? For those who don't know, Ril is a coastal resort long since forgotten and populated by a lot of strange fish-headed people who look like denizens of some forgotten, beyond the cosmos realm of depravity and evil. Like this chap here. Now this is a cheap mask. Yes, I buy a lot of the the great mask, the Trick or Treat, the Ghoulish Productions, the Zagonia masks. I do love those. Zagoni masks, not Zagonia. That's like a place that H.P. Lovecraft would have created. But sometimes I like to buy the really cheap ones, the ones you just see when you go on Google masks, horror masks, or whatever on Amazon, and you get fucking millions of these things, and you go, oh, that looks shit, oh god, that's awful. This I quite liked, and I like to get these things, the cheap ones, where the latex isn't the best quality, they're very thin, but some ones you don't even know who the manufacturer are, because there's nothing to tell you on them, and you may see the same mask in different, it's listed differently with different prices from different sellers, and it's always got a different, supposed manufacturer's name. You're never going to find out. Anyway, I saw this particular one at a very good price. It was dirt cheap. It was about, I think, £19, something like that. But after I ordered it, and it popped up again on my Amazon, account with other versions of this mask, and there was one going for almost 50 quid. And I thought, fuck me, what? I got mine for 19 and someone's charging 50 quid for it. Maybe it's better than I thought. Maybe I've got a real bargain here. Anyway, it turned up yesterday, and what I'm going to show you, it did not look like this. I spent all day in the sun yesterday, out the back there, in the gardens, and enacting rituals, and recolouring this mask. And here it is! It's Great Cthulhu! Yes, now, folks, look at that. Now that is not the world's greatest mask. It isn't. I freely admit that. That's not why I bought it. There is a Great Cthulhu mask by Ghoulish Productions, which is like a pale bluey grey sort of colour, and he's got quite extendable tentacles hanging down there, quite a chin's worth of tentacleness, and that's a great mask. But it's also one of those masks where I thought, yeah, one day I'll get that, one day, but I wasn't smitten by it. When I saw this, I was immediately smitten. I thought, I can work with that. That's nice and cheap, and it'll give me something to work on. Now, I am not, as many of you know, the most crafty of people. I'm useless with my hands. Well, except in certain circumstances, which we won't go into just yet. Maybe when I finish that whiskey, I might commence that saga. But I can't paint. So I know people who live in the whole mask realm, like myself, but they are far more advanced than me. And they can use those paint guns, latex paint. They'll mix paint together, and they rehaul, recolour, redress masks, even high-end masks. They'll work on them. Now, I know the only high-end mask, no, there's two that I worked on to give a sort of better look, the aesthetic feel that I thought of. One was the Demon Wolf from American Werewolf in London, and I accentuated around the eyes, I darkened them, made them more shadowy, and some of the contours I darkened those as well, using a variety of pencils and even a felt tip pen. And to be honest, it looks great. It definitely enhanced the look of that mask in my eyes, so I'm happy with that. The other one was, that mask there, the Shape mask from Halloween 2, the Halloween 2 Trick or Treats mask. And this was the mask that Nick Castle wore in Halloween 1, and then Dick Warlock took over, 3 years later, with a different shaped face, and the mask was battered and stained from nicotine and all that. I've discussed that before. And it looks different on his face, and it's my favourite actual look for Michael Myers. But the idea behind that mask is it's more damaged. In the film, you have the famous T on the forehead, which is like a dent, crushed, he's been shot off a balcony, you know, he's gone through all sorts of shit, and then keeps coming back for more. And when it turned up, it's a great mask, it is, but it lacks a fair bit of the damage on it. So using a variety of different grade pencils, I put shading in, and I created that T. And I think I've done a video on it, and I think it looks great. It's definitely improved it as far as I'm concerned. At the end of the day, folks, when you spend your money, it's your mask. You know, you do what you want with it. If you're happy at the end of the day, that's it. Now, this was one colour, this Cthulhu mask. It was just one complete colour. With, as you can see here, there is like sort of pinkish tinges. They were there. And the colour it had was the colour of a banana, a yellow banana. So, and on the imagery that I saw of it, when I googled other pictures of this mask, I thought, yeah, that looks quite good. But when it turns out it was a lot lighter in tone than I'd anticipated. So I thought straight away, yeah, I'm going to have to do a lot of work on this. So I completely overhauled, to use the terminology, I overhauled the mask. And although in this light and on the lens there, the smeary lens, it does look like it's still got that kind of banana colour, but with a light green, I have gone over this, a light green felt pen. My daughter's pens from when she was about 3 years old, and they've been ignored for many, many years. So I found them, dusted them off, and once I started, I found, shit, this is going to take me forever. Why didn't I get one of those guns, those little paint guns? You know, would have been so much easier, but I don't think I've got the skills to do that. So the base coat, you could call it, was a light green, and then I began to accentuate various. There's actually a lot of detail on this. There's a lot of contours, a lot of texture on the flesh. This watery, waterlogged, seaborn, demonic flesh. So I accentuated a lot of that as well. A lot of these pink bits here, they were pink to begin with, and I've gone over, I've highlighted them with a bit more of a pinkish, sort of salmony colour, and maybe a hint of red as well. But a darker green, a much darker green, I added all this vibrancy around the eyes and in the contours and the grooves, and it really brings it to life. I think you guys knowing that I did this are probably going, that's fucking shit, that. You bozo, look at the state of that, it's a bloody mess. But if I hadn't told you, you'd probably be thinking, oh, that looks like one of those masks of Cthulhu I've seen before, but it looks way different as well. I like the design in it. You see, yep. Just give you some credit, will you? I spent all day doing this, and the thing is, once you start, you cannot stop. And I think that the secret of doing any project like this, if you want to term it as a project, or just sitting there in the sun, swigging lager and whiskey with all your pens and just doodling away, that's all I was doing. If that's like an endeavour worthy of pursuing, then hey, you know, I've cracked that one. But once you start, you can't stop. And I think the lesson you should learn is that you've got to stop sometime, because it's the nature of just, you know, scribing away, colouring, shading little bits here and there. Oh, I think I'll do a pattern on this bit here. It's never ending, And pretty soon, if I carried on, it would all be one fucking colour, that dark colour. So what I did, folks, as well, yeah, don't worry, I'm going to show you the back of it. And obviously with felt pens, you don't get the coverage. So in other words, you've got to keep going over and over. But then again, you know, you get that kind of scaly, sort of worn look by not having that excessive coverage. So what I did here, folks, as well, like, forgive that line there, I wasn't purposely making up a line. There's actually a groove in this which is making it more apparent. I've tried to have stuff leaking across, these slimy bits leaking across, and just this, you know, the two-tone discoloration of his amphibious flesh. But I also gave him, I don't know why, but I gave him a Bela Lugosi widow's peak. Now again, that's not meant to be, you know, geometrically perfect. I didn't want it to be perfect. I wanted it to be slightly, and I'm going to alter that. I'm going to have more slimy tendrils coming off. See, I can't leave alone, but I want to get that green out again, you know, and just, you know, add a bit more sort of, you know, texturizing to it. The eyes, I have gone around with, again, I've accentuated the, you know, the depth, made them darker. The inner colour, that lilac colour, is the original colour of the eyes on the mask. And all I've done to them, because I like that colour, it's subtle, yet in certain lights you can see that. When I first opened it, it was the eyes. I went, oh. But then again, you only had one colour to contrast it, well, two. You had a little bit of pink around this beard of tentacles. So that lilac colour kind of stood out a little bit. So I thought, I'm not going to go over that, I'll keep that. But all I did was I added a bit more of an accent to it with a sort of electric blue sort of, you know, colour to go round the inner eye. I think it looks alright, and I like, you know, this sort of angry sort of pattern here. You're giving him, well, my attempt was to give him a bit more personality, to make him a bit more aggressive. When he was originally, he was quite, you know, bland looking. There was no personality to him. I think, if nothing else, I've given him some personality. So when you come down to it, he has these sort of, because he is viewed in many ways. He's in games, he's in other comic book adaptations, he's in lots of artwork. Great Cthulhu is a huge, you know, character. Sometimes he's man-sized, but often he's a huge, you know, cyclopean octopoid entity, hence tentacles. Now, as I say, there are masks where you can get quite extravagant tentacles, but only like one or two or three. My only misgiving with those is that the ones I've seen tend to look more like Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's a great look, but it's not the way that I view Cthulhu. I like the octopoid sort of pouch face, you know, these cheeks, where you'd have octopuses have a beak. They have a beak, which horribly, do you know what they do with the victims? You know, once they've inked them and drawn them in with their tentacles, they peck them with their beak and then suck all the fluids out of them. They drink them to death and then cast aside the carcass. Oh shit! You know, there's never really been a good octopus horror movie. They're in a lot of movies. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Mysterious Island. You've got some great Ray Harryhausen renditions. And It Came From... No, which one is it? It Came From Beneath the Sea. Is that the tentacled one? And it just crawls up San Francisco, you know, bridge, the Golden Gate, and then its tentacles crush people who are stupid enough to come near to the coast. You know, hardly a threat to people on land. I know the Italians came up with Tentacles, which was a Jaws retaliation, and that wasn't very good either. But, you know, they are a terrifying creature. They're a beautiful creature too, but they're terrifying, you know, in an aspect, because they're like an underwater spider, aren't they? And they have a face as well, like, you know. That's one garden you don't want to go into. Well, uninvited, of course. So I like that pouch face, and the eyes now do have a sort of animosity to them, a bit more of an aged, scholarly hatred of humanity. So what I've done here, folks, you can see a lot of the original sort of pinkish tint to some of these tentacles. And I've accentuated some with, that's my word for the day, accentuate, with a bit more of the felt pen colours. And I've highlighted again, you know, with that darker green, just to give a bit more personality and vividness to the ends of these tentacles. I may do more. That's what I'm saying. Now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh, I should do that bit there. And obviously, you can have a lot of fun with stuff like this because the nature of the latex as well, there's a texture to it. There's little nodules where some bits are raised, so it gives it kind of like a bit of a warty aspect. So you just dab a different colour on them, and they'll stand out from the actual mask itself. So they're not just like a dot; they're like a three-dimensional, you know, thing which your eye is drawn to. So it gives it some more, you know, realism. Yes, I said realism. I know. In my world, there's no such thing. But yeah, so furrowed brow, these different colours. It also gives it a bit of a tribal look as well. You know, tribes, the whole thing about the cult surrounding Cthulhu, all his followers, his devotees, his acolytes. You know, I don't know. I just like the look of it. The black. Oh, actually, the black was in there too. Sorry, I'm saying it was just one colour. It was that sort of banana-y colour. Actually, it's coming across quite nicely green, isn't it, at the moment? So, you know, and that is how it looks in reality, by the way. But you had the that sort of banana-y colour, the lilac on the pupils, and a bit of black to give it some shading around here. Not much black, and then this sort of salmony pink colour as well, which was quite subtle and a bit hazy. So I thought, well, that needs to be brought out a little bit more. So. This is what I've done. This is what I've come up with. Yeah. Now, as I say, I'm gonna work a bit more on the Widow's Peak, but it looks like a little skull cap, doesn't it? You know. Didn't Ming the Merciless wear something like that? Only in black. Okay. Now, I haven't actually worn this. I've not worn it. For those of you that love, you know, the little marks and stuff on the inside. I don't know why I'm looking. There isn't any. No one is going to lay claim to like, well, I created that. I will be on record saying I fucking modified it, and it looks a million times better. That's debatable, of course. I'll throw it open, you know, to you guys. Yes. Now, this, by the way, has not just come off the mask. It's on my fingers from yesterday as well. And even though I've washed them with COVID-19, all the rage these days, I've been washing my hands about 1 million times a day. And yeah, it won't come off. Plenty of it there as well. So it's dry now, he says. Watch when I take it back off my head and my entire face is green.
Tentacles. Bring me Sandra-D. Strip her off and put her upon the altar. My tentacles are rising.
Yeah, it's a very poor mask. But it looks $1 million. But it's loose fitting. Again, you could get around that. Put a woolly hat on, or just put some sponge on the inside. Adhere some sponge to the inside, and it will sit just right. You've got to get those eyes sorted out as well, because I couldn't see anything out of those eyes. The eye holes are inside there, so basically, when you've got it on, you're looking like that. Unless you were the sort of reverse of Marty Feldman. Yeah, no, Marty Feldman's eyes did go like that, didn't they? So he'd be alright with that, because you're looking out the sides, you're not looking ahead. But, you know, most of these masks I don't get to wear. You know, that's not the reason behind them. I view them as sculptures, I view them as a bit of, you know, ghoulish artwork, and just a prop in the house. Now, should I wear that? You can easily rectify that. You just cut. What I would do is just slice a little bit more, maybe around the top there, and you can sit it right with the use of those sponges I mentioned before. And you know, you could rig up quite a good fish-based costume. Yeah, look at that. Actually, looks like a dog there, doesn't it? There's his snout. There's his nose. One of them bloodhound dogs, you know. versatile. For a cheapo mask, there's so much you can do. Hours of fun, and I've only worn it once, but I spent all day working on this yesterday, and probably some more time today as well. There you go. So, as you can see, most of these, I have done some smears where the wire no contours, and you can probably tell where they are. That's fairly flat there, isn't it? You know, there's no contoration there. But these ones, you bring them out more with a bit of colour in them, because if it's all one colour, it hasn't got any shading, and you're depending on natural shade to give it some depth. It depends on the quality of the latex, and if it's not the best, it's still going to look pretty flat. You want some three-dimensionality to it, and the only way you're going to do that is to put some colour in there or some shading in there, which will accentuate it. You got it. You got it. Good. You guys are good. You know, paying attention. I like that. You're a good class. So, folks, great or piss poor Cthulhu, you decide. I like it. I'm happy. And at the end of the day, that's what counts. But should you like what you see here, this can be bought very, very cheaply. Don't get the £50 one. No, it's not worth that at all by anyone's standards. And you can work on it. There's other masks. There's a couple over there. There's definitely one up there, which is hidden behind all them figures up there, Hellboy and various Snake Plissken figures. He's sitting up there, and I got him a while ago with the idea of doing the same thing, and I kind of forgot all about it. And now that I'm talking about it, I've just remembered that he's up there, and he's quite it's a good design. He's a vampire demon thing, and I'm going to accentuate. I'm getting sick of that phrase myself now. I'm going to highlight that one and overhaul it myself. So, guys, from me, Great Cthulhu, and Cackhouse Kentucky Fudge. I'm joking, mate. You're okay in my book. Put that down. I'll have another little swig of the whiskage. To you, my friend, and to you guys. There's a lot more coming today. I know, in the whole realm of YouTube videos, when I record this and what's coming next don't really matter, but I've got to keep myself reinforced for this, because I could just sit out front with more whiskey. Oh, it's pissing down the rain, isn't it? So I won't be doing that. That is brightening up. Folks, I'm going to quit the waffle, quit the dilly-dallying around, and in the meantime and in between time, you guys take it easy, be happy, be healthy, keep it kilted, keep it Celtic, be safe, keep a smile on your face, play with latex, and I'm going to see you all laters. Jesus, I've cocked up my own finale, and not for the first time. Aye.